Valerio Spanda is the first to break the record of coming through as the Zimbabwe Defense Forces commander of the military, to lead the Zimbabwe military. It has been ZANLA leading the Zimbabwean military for the longest period of time. ZANLA commanders alone. If you remember, it was both ZIPRA as well as also ZANLA that fought during the liberation struggle, and ZIPRA playing a very fundamental role, but that role being undermined. Even up to today, their history, of course, rich, not well documented, and not recognized as they deserve to be. And guess what? Emerson Mnangagwa is seemingly using this loophole to divide and rule the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Definitely, it was expected that after Valerio Spanda, Mnangagwa will promote a former ZANLA commander to lead the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. But Mnangagwa went ahead and promoted another ZIPRA actually commander to lead the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. And according to Newshawks, there is pandemonium within the Zimbabwe military, some grumbling that why did Mnangagwa leave them out and appoint for the second time a ZIPRA commander. They expected him to interchange this time around to be a ZANLA commander, and then vice versa. This is what was expected. But well, I can say that it has been since 1980 up to the time of Valerio Spanda. It has been only a ZANLA commander. But well, Mnangagwa at this stage calculatively doing so to divide the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, and when it's divided, it's easier to rule them and actually dominate them. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So let me read this story by Newswalk. It says some former ZANLA commanders and senior army officers within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces are grumbling. Let me just put my phone like this. Are grumbling behind the scenes that another ex-ZIPRA commander, General Emmanuel Matatu, has been put at the helm of the army following the retirement of General Philip Valerio Sibanda, another ZIPRA heavyweight. President Emerson Mnangagwa, who is also commander-in-chief, presided over Matatu's investiture at State House in Harare on Monday. Sibanda retired on November 21, a military source told the Newshawks. Some ZANU-PF leaders and government officials wanted a former ZANLA commander, not Matatu, to take over because at an ex-ZIPRA commander Spanda has been in charge. They were raising issues of the need for equality, equity, and rotation, which they argue must not be enforced in the ZDF. They were raising issues of the need for equality, equity, and rotation, which they argue must now be enforced in the ZDF. So as I predicted, they want, if Valerio Spanda was a ZIPRA commander, then the next one should be a ZANLA commander. And if a ZANLA commander finishes his term, the next should be a ZIPRA commander. That's how they want it. The unified ZDF command was introduced when the late former Zimbabwe National Army commander, retired General Solomon Mchuru, retired in 1992. The late retired General Vitalis Zwinabashi was the first commander of the unified ZDF structure. He was succeeded by retired General Constantino Chiwenga, now one of the two vice presidents. Chiwenga was succeeded by Sibanda. So the argument was Matatu cannot replace Sibanda since they were both ZIPRA. However, Mnangagwa rejected that and appointed Matatu for ethnic, regional, and political reasons. Mnangagwa preferred Matatu as a former ZIPRA commander to counter Chiwenga's residual influence in the army. Matatu is also from the Midlands and is viewed as a Karanga, just like Sibanda, making them Mnangagwa's homeboys. While Sibanda has a Ndebele name and Matatu speaks Ndebele, they are viewed as Karanga. Ethnicity and regionalism will play a huge and influential role in local politics, especially in Mnangagwa power calculus and administration. Another source said the issue has fueled tensions as Mnangagwa uses the military to protect himself, keep Chiwenga at bay, and manage ZANU-PF succession politics. Chiwenga, who helped Mnangagwa to seize power through a coup in November 2017, had the military leverage to become the next president, but his ambitions has been thwarted, at least for now. Mnangagwa, I like that, at least for now. Mnangagwa has taken control of the army by putting his own loyalists in charge to block Chiwenga, ignoring the ZANLA and ZIPRA dynamics. ZANLA was the military wing of ZANU during the liberation struggle, while ZIPRA was ZAPU's armed fighting force. ZIPRA and ZANLA spearheaded the liberation struggle mainly from Zambia and Mozambique, respectively. So ZIPRA was in Zambia and ZANU was in Mozambique. In 1980, ZNA was formed by integrating the three main armed forces of the war: the Rhodesian Army, ZANLA, and ZIPRA. This was a key priority for the new government under the late former president Robert Mugabe to create a single unified military force after independence in 1980. The integration process was difficult and complex, involving disbandment of the old army and formation of new units with a mix of personnel from all three groups, overseen by British military advisory and training team, whose role was to mediate between the three forces, as well as to train ZNA officer corps. A joint high command, the old ceasefire commission, chaired by Mnangagwa, was in charge of the process. Rhodesian Army Commander Lieutenant General Peter Walls was appointed JHC Commander. He was charged with the responsibility of implementing the new defense policy and managing the integration and convention training process while defending the new vulnerable government. He worked with Muchuru and Zinabashe from ZANLA and the late ZIPRA Commander Lookout Masugu and Intelligence Supremo Dumiso Tabengwa, who were later arrested and detained on false charges of a coup plot together with ZAPU leaders and other ZIPRA commanders. A painful history indeed that we will never forget. Masugu eventually died in chains at the behest of Mugabe. Masugu eventually died in chains at the behest of Mugabe. It was key to show unity at the top echelons of military command to facilitate the same process in the middle levels of the army hierarchy, as well as among the rank and file during integration. Now, let me play what Matatu had to say after being actually
and shared our esteemed Zimbabwe Defense Forces to what it is today. With General M.G. Nabasi, General C.G.T.N. Chiwenga, and my immediate predecessor, General P.V. Sibanda. I'm alive Your Excellency, to the expectations and responsibilities that go with this elevation. I'm taking over the reins of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, a force with a rich legacy underpinned by the ethos of patriotism, loyalty, diligence, accountability, and integrity. And these enduring values that we inherit from our time during the liberation struggle remain a torch whose light shall guide us into the future. As you and the political leadership strive for a nation to attain urban middle-income economy by 2030, we as the ZDF shall conform and support this vision to its fruition. You have talked, Your Excellency, about the changes in warfare and the need for us to embrace technology. I'm aware, Your Excellency, that we have to accelerate our efforts in this direction, and we have to catch up with what is going on around us. In that respect, Your Excellency, I pledge to uphold the vision of my predecessors, that of modernizing and pursuing excellency and professionalism within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. As I embark on my duties in this new rank and appointment, I promise to remain guided and to act within the mandate as given within the Constitution of Zimbabwe. I will be guided by you, Your Excellency, and by the government of Zimbabwe in everything that I do. I would like to thank you, Your Excellency, for coming in to confer the ranks on me, and also thank the Minister of Defense and other ministers who are present here, the Chief Secretary and the other senior government officials who are here for coming to this event. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
There was Matatu actually officially taking this, and there were some bit of lighter moments that were shared between Mnangagwa and him. But as I predicted, Mnangagwa is just packing him there. He has a broader plan that is to stabilize the military. At the moment, this is an interim stabilization strategy, but I've always said that I sense it backfiring. So there's a lot in Zimbabwe that has happened militarily, politically, that will require someone who is realistic, someone who is strong to actually solve, because Zimbabwe is in a complicated situation because of Mugabe, and Mnangagwa appear to be worsening it. Everything that you miscalculate to take as a decision is bound to backfire because of the history, real history, attached to this arrangement called Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okay.